Good day, folks, and welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic. I'm your host, Neil Johnson. Excited to bring this report to you because things have gone apocalyptic at MSNBC. So their ratings have totally collapsed since Donald Trump won the presidency. In fact, it's lost over half of its primetime audience, okay? Since the recent presidential election, viewership has dropped from 1.34 million to around 600,000. Rachel Maddow used to have an audience of around 2.5 million. She's down to 1.7 million. She's still the top performing show, but she is so far behind Jesse Waters, who's sitting at about 4.2 million viewers. So the collapse is crazy. Now, what's happened as a result of that is they've let people go. And Keith Olbermann is whining about that over on X. In fact, he said, breaking. MSNBC racist purge escalates. Racist purge. Okay, this is going to get better. Eamon Moyeldin, Katie Fang, and Jonathan Capehart ousted along with Joy Reid and Alex Wagner. In fact, it's so bad that Joy Reid was in tears, but I've got this video of clips of Joy Reid. You're going to love it. It's from Tom Elliott over at Gravy. Check this out.
The race lady. Why would they call me that? Is this really about me fixating on race, or is it about you fixating on race?
But Donald Trump wants to never let black and brown folk up off the mat. Evident what they mean by DEI, right? Why not just say what you mean? You can't stand black people. We get it. You've been heard.
Are you committed to naming a black woman as your vice presidential running mate?
They wanted to go after the brown people too, because of course that is their other target.
You feel joy? Say joy.
It's not fashionable to be openly racist anymore in America, unlike what they call the good old days. Only the white Christian men may have the things. So you own everything that happens to your mixed status families and to your wives, sisters, and abuelas.
Joy.
If you are black plus anything else, you are black. Violent white nationalism that today threatens our national security.
Make a joyful noise.
Don't send any of those invites to any black women you know.
We do have a fascist groundswell in parts of this country, mainly among white men, let's be clear.
I mean, you're also a white guy. Are you saying the we is white folks need more kids?
She literally appropriated a white man's hair. In fact, the very man that she calls racist. Have you seen her hairstyle change?
Make your own dinner, MAGA. Make your own sandwiches. Wipe your own tears.
Only God can give that woman the kind of joy she had right there.
Similarities to what happened in Germany and what's happening now in America are just undeniable.
Donald Trump is acting like a Nazi, talking like a Nazi, and now posting like a Nazi.
Like Trump, Hitler was also viewed as a clown, a goon who could be kept in line after a 4-year break to, learn to accurately quote Adolf Hitler. Right wingers were saying, get in the oven anytime you made any benign comment on Twitter.
Get in the oven, make your own sandwiches. The Democrats are literally the people who talk about who's going to pick our lettuce.
Elon Musk, I guess he misses the old South Africa in the 80s. He wants that back.
Yes, look, not only is Trump a criminal, he's also someone who is arguably in mental and perhaps even cognitive decline.
That right there, folks, is world-class projection. That's why we call them projectocrats. The woman who is in serious decline, accusing Trump of being in cognitive decline while they supported Biden.
Yes, Biden is aging. He shuffles when he walks and forgets names and makes gaffes. But he's not incoherent. He can give us a prompter speech.
Yes, sir.
Kamala Harris has passed the audition flawlessly. This has been, in many ways, a perfect campaign. For misappropriating black vernacular for misogynistic purposes, Elon Musk is the absolute worst. They've taught people the word inflation, right? Most people who would have never used that word ever in their lives are using it now because they've been taught it.
So many of us are not safe in Donald Trump's America.
If you're mad at United Healthcare and you voted for Trump, you essentially voted for America to be run like United Healthcare.
And you think, oh yeah, they let the race lady in. Blah, affirmative action. Blah. Well, listen, let me cheer you up, okay? I got into Harvard and Yale, Vassar, and the University of Denver too, because I had a really high GPA and fantastic SAT scores.
Let me just be clear. I got into Harvard only because of affirmative action.
A black woman forced you to pay a $175 million fine. For me, there's something poetic and actually wonderful about that. It says something good about our country that we're still capable of having that happen. Go DEI. My DEIs are bringing it home.
Do you think, folks, after watching that there could quite possibly be a reason other than the fact that she's a black woman that caused her to be canned from the network? Possibly. Is it there? Do you think maybe people didn't want to listen to that crap, especially when she tells us she didn't get it on affirmative action, then tells us she does? Not only is she bad, not only is she hateful, she's also a liar. But that did not stop Rachel Maddow from taking a parting shot, because I'm quite certain she knows her neck is on the chopping block as well. It's either that or she feels she's untouchable because she has 1/3 the audience of Jesse Waters, but it's the best thing MSNBC has going.
An even bigger programming change is at 7 p.m., 7 p.m. Eastern, where Joy Reid's show, The Readout, ended tonight. And Joy is not taking a different job in the network. She is leaving the network altogether. And that is very, very, very hard to take. I am 51 years old. I have been gainfully employed since I was 12. And I have had so many different kinds of jobs, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. But in all of the jobs I have had, in all of the years I have been alive, there is no colleague for whom I have had more affection and more respect than Joy Reid. I love everything about her. I have learned so much from her. I have so much more to learn from her. I do not want to lose her as a colleague here at MSNBC. And personally, I think it is a bad mistake to let her walk out the door. It is not my call, and I understand that, but that's what I think. I will tell you, it is also unnerving to see that on a network where we've got two, count them, two non-white hosts in primetime, both of our non-white hosts in primetime are losing their shows, as is Katie Fang on the weekend. And that feels worse than bad, no matter who replaces them. That feels indefensible, and I do not defend it.
Now, don't think for a second as you're watching all of this that MSNBC has suddenly found religion and is going to go non-woke, okay? They're replacing, and this is the weird thing about the racism, they're not replacing Joy Reid with a white dude. They're replacing Joy Reid with a panel. And on that panel is Simone Sanders and Michael Steele. Okay, so they're replacing the black lady with black people. And I will say this much as I'm going to disagree with the political views of these other hosts, I am quite certain that with Michael Steele and the others, they will be more entertaining, more thoughtful, and less just race rants all the time. But the best thing to come of all this is getting to see Joy Reid the next day literally in tears about her show.
My show had value, and that, I'm sorry, that what I was doing had value. And in the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV. And this is kind of like me on TV, so I apologize. And then it mattered. I see Karen.
She's literally calling out for Karen. If that doesn't have poetic value, I don't know what does. But the value her show brought to this country was the value of dividing it. That's the only value she brought.
Is there, and she's been texting me as well. And so what I will just say is that in the end, thank you. Where I land is that the moment of guilt that I felt, that I went hard on so many issues, whether it was the Black Lives Matter issues of a young baby or a mom or a dad that was killed, or when we opened up people's eyes to the fact that Asian Americans were being targeted and not just Black folks, or went hard for immigrants who've done nothing but come to this country like my parents did and try to make a life, and defended them.
She's actually making the case against immigration altogether, because if this is the product we're getting from it,
or whether we've talked about what the president is doing that is subversive to the Constitution, that is injurious to our liberty, defending books that people find inconvenient.
No, we actually had a problem with books in grade schools that were pornographic.
I am not sorry that I stood up for those things, because those things are of God. And I'm a church girl too, and those are the things that I was taught were of God. And so I'm not sorry. I'm just proud of my show.
Wow. Just wow, folks. Hey, remember, go check out my sponsor, MyPillow, mypillow.com. Use promo code Lumberjack for big savings. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that like on the way out if you can, and leave a comment. But thanks so much for listening to another episode of Lumberjack Logic. Folks, the rats are scurrying off the sinking ship. Wokeism is dead. It's called the Trump effect, and I love it. Peace out.